these CHAMMAKS will 100% end up in 95. If you're roaming around with 6 CHAMMAK broke boys, you'll probably be the 7th broke boy. You know?
We're gonna be doing some quick fire questions with Ehsan, and let's get it.
All right, thanks for having me again.
Of course, bro.
I think we're gonna enjoy this one, you know?
Yeah. This one's gonna be funny.
100%.
All right. So last time, one of the clips from the last podcast went viral, yeah,
100%, yeah.
and it was talking about some chammaks and stuff like that. And you were basically, you want to tell them what the clip was about, like what you were saying?
So the clip was about me talking about CHAMMAKs, how they go to Kite Beach. And of course, not everyone who goes to Kite Beach is a CHAMMAK, but most of them are, you know?
Yeah.
They don't have a goal in life. The only reason they go is to literally vape, meet some other CHAMMAKs, go behind some females.
Yeah. So basically, people in the comments, they're saying, you should let them enjoy life and let them have fun, blah blah blah. So what's your opinion on that?
Alright, so for the last video, when I uploaded a video about the CHAMMAKs and someone was like, let them enjoy life, they're 13 to 16. You're actually enjoying, that's not enjoying their teenage life. That's literally destroying their teenage life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Teenage life should have a limitation. These 13 to 16 to 18-year-olds doesn't have a limit. They literally go there to smoke, to vape, to literally do some stuff that's unacceptable, you know? When you have a limit, it's much more better than being without a limit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So for someone to say that who's like 20, 25 or 30 to say that let these 13, 16-year-olds, let them enjoy their time and stuff like that, that's not how you actually treat your own brother or sister or anyone else, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have a limitation on them, you know? You can't just let them do whatever they want. I know
Yeah.
they're a teenager, but you gotta be careful because of their future is dependent upon their teenage life. If their teenage life is all about smoking, drinking, partying, I bet their
Mhm.
life in the future would be similar to that or even worse.
Yeah.
And these are literally 90% of the people who will be stuck in the matrix. Why? Because they didn't take care of their teenage life. They didn't really use it in a proper way. And now they're stuck in a 95 because they didn't build the most important thing in the teenage life, which is the foundation. Foundation of them making a bit of money, foundation of them understanding the business, understanding something that's going to help them in the future.
Yeah. So you think that they're gonna end up in 9 to 5?
100%. Look, these CHAMMAKs will 100% end up in 95.
Mm-hmm.
The ones who doesn't have a goal in life, the ones who doesn't really think about their future, will be in the 95. And there is a clear reason behind it. First thing first, they're only looking for a degree, which they only rely on. The second thing is they don't really have any sort of income, any sort of plan that they would have an income. So they don't have any idea of them becoming a millionaire and sort of having financial freedom. So the only thing they will rely on is a job. And
Yeah.
that job will be a 9 to 5.
Yeah. If you don't decide your future, it'll be decided for you.
Wow, that was very
Yeah.
good. 100%, bro.
You think chammaks are gonna struggle to find a wife?
100% yes. Because a lot of the CHAMMAKs, when I said in the podcast that I would probably get married when I'm 21, 22, like in the next few years, they wouldn't agree with it, you know? They
Mhm.
want to have fun. They want to have...
Go party.
Go party. They want to have girls, 20 girls around them, you know? They don't want to have a one wife and stick to them and stuff like that, you know? Which is the true belief of Islam. That's
Mhm.
their true base. They don't even want to stick to their base, you know? They say, no, you gotta have fun, you gotta enjoy it, you gotta be with different females, which is 100% wrong, you know? You gotta settle down as soon as you can. Once you have the money and the mindset for it, settle down, wallahi.
Yeah.
It's a very good option.
Do the people that you keep around you decide who you're gonna be in life?
Yes, that's 100% true. And you know how they say if you're roaming around with 6 millionaires, you'll probably be the 7th millionaire around them.
Yeah.
If you're roaming around with 6 CHAMMAK broke boys, you'll probably be the 7th broke boy. You know? So you gotta be 100% worried about your circle to see which direction they're heading into, you know?
Yeah.
If your circle is not good, you're not good. And subhanAllah, like even in Islam, it says that you will enter Jannah or Jahannam, like hellfire or heaven, in groups, you know?
Mhm.
So you would be in the group of friends. If your friend group was literally people who are into the deen, into the, you know, sort of a good mindset, not partying, this and that, probably be in heaven with them together, as a group. But if those were the people who actually led you to the bad life, drinking, smoking, and going behind girls and doing all of that bad stuff, of course you'll have a bad life
Yeah.
and you'll end up in hellfire, subhanAllah.
So, do you think someone should get married if they're in love, even if like their life is like shit and this like they have nothing going in their life yet, they're not successful, they're still like trying to make it,
Honestly,
but they're in love.
at some point they should get engaged. I
Mhm.
think engagement is one of the best options because then you're
Mhm.
satisfied that you at least have someone in your life, you're
Mhm.
engaged. But if you're scared of you taking an action upon your engagement, meeting the girl again and doing all of that stuff, then I think marriage would be the best option,
Mhm.
because see, a lot of people doesn't really think about it in a broad way. They think about it in a way that they get married, the money will come by itself, the life will get set by itself, They're like,
Mhm.
oh, get married, life will be better. If you're not someone who prays to God, you'll not enter heaven.
Mhm.
If you're not someone who is working towards heaven, you're not gonna enter heaven. You gotta be someone who puts an effort into something that he wants.
Mhm.
So for you to actually just dream of you having a wife and then your life will be set, it's completely wrong. You
Mhm.
know, you gotta have your future planned out like as soon as you can, literally at any age that you can. Have your future planned out, and then the wife would be an easy option.
Mhm. So some people say that in your teenage years you should go out and get a lot of experience, and then some people say that you should stay away from girls because they're a distraction. So what's your view on that?
Depends on what kind of experience. If it's the experience of girls, 100% stay away from it.
Mhm.
If it's the experience of you trying out different side hustles, different types of making money methods, 100% go for it. You're not going to lose anything.
Mhm.
Why? Because you don't have a family to carry. You don't have to provide food for your family. You're literally just a teenager enjoying life. So might as well just give another business a try.
Mhm.
So it's the best
So
option
why
for
should
you.
you stay away from the girls?
It's a distraction, I swear. I promise it's a distraction. The minute you actually get into a relationship, you cannot focus on the YouTube. You cannot focus on that business that you wanted to start. Your all focus is gone and you're just only focusing for the girl to reply back to you.
Mhm.
But she's probably texting other guys. So it's a distraction, for you to actually think of something else that's not even gonna benefit you in the future. Is a waste of your time and the girl's time. So the best option for you would be to actually do something that can give you something in the future.
Have you ever had a girlfriend or like anything like that before, like where you've been distracted? Like,
100% I've been
yeah.
distracted. 100%. It's the moment of life where it's it's a test and it's also a lesson. You know,
Mhm.
you crave for the chocolate, but the minute you have so much of it, you're like you get diabetes. You get sick
Yeah,
of it.
I feel you.
So everything when it becomes too much, it gets worse. So for you to not get in a relationship is also very hard. But once you
Mhm.
get inside it, you realize it the minute you're like, okay, it's such a waste of time. Like if you don't
Yeah.
have self-reflect, you're gonna get lost. But that's why you must have self-reflect. You have to realize that what were you doing before the relationship and what are you doing now. Just probably
Yeah.
texting the girl, but before the relationship, you're literally working on that business, texting other people, how to work it out and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you gotta self-reflect,
So then,
100%.
at what point is it okay to, indulge?
When you're financially stable, I think that would be a very good option for you, especially if you're here in Dubai. And if you are someone who's a man of responsibility, who can take responsibility, who's ready for it, and
Yeah.
who's not into parties and stuff like that, I think it's the best option for you to get married and stuff like that.
Yeah. What would be your best advice to all these like teenagers who always complain about how broke they are and they can't afford like their vapes or whatever, But like they're always like, yeah, I want to make money, but they don't know how.
Once again, what you said was very true. If you don't decide your future will decide you.
Yeah.
So it's completely up to them. If they want to actually have a better life, a life that they will be satisfied with,
Yeah.
they must actually work for it.
Hmm.
These vapes, these girls, these life and parties wouldn't help you at all. You're just gonna have a fun for that day, for that hour, and it's literally gone. And I don't know if you realize, but most of these chammaks are in so many troubles, bro. Like from the
Yeah.
parents to school to the teachers. Like no one's happy with them. And they wonder why. Like they wonder why my dad hates me. Bro, they hate you for a reason. You don't respect him. You don't really do what he tells you. You're not respectful to your teachers. Your marks are bad.
Mm-hmm.
At least, like, bro, subhanallah, the school that they go to, it's a lot of money, you know, for their parents to afford.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't even put their effort in that school, bro, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not a person who's gonna be good in school, and if you're not a person who's actually someone who's making money, if you're not a person who's respecting his parents, what are you gonna be in life? You know,
Yeah.
you're just literally lifeless at that point. You know, you gotta have something that you should stick to at least. If it's not school, a side hustle. If it's not a side hustle, at least to the school, because your parents are working day and night paying for your school, for your tuitions,
Yeah.
and you're not even doing anything about it. So it's haram money
Yeah.
that you're just wasting.
I think like if you're gonna not go the school route, you should at least be doing something else. Don't just drop out and be like, I'm just gonna sit here and like expect life to work out.
Don't drop out unless you see some sort of success in your side hustle, in your business, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Because you don't want to disappoint your parents all of a sudden. If you actually go to your parents and tell them that, hey, mom and dad, I did dropshipping, I did the side hustle, and I made 10,000 dirham.
Mm-hmm.
And if you actually show it to them, they would actually be proud of you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they might let you even drop out and stuff like that, you know, if they see it good for you. But if you're someone who's having a plan, an idea, and you're like, I will follow this idea and I want to drop out, of course it's not going to be easy for a parent to accept it, you
Yeah.
know, because most of our parents are all into the old mindset of school, then university, then a job, you know.
Yeah.
So for them to get convinced for you to drop out is going to be very hard. But if you show them an action, if you show them what you have got within yourself, the fact that you can show them the success that you can achieve, 100% they're gonna be fine with it. At least most of them.
Yeah. Did you drop out or like did you finish
So
school?
drop out at this point, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth it. The only time my college calls me
Mm-hmm.
is not to the fact that I was absent, that I missed an assignment or I missed something. They're like, "Where's your fees?" I'm done with this. I'm done with
Yeah.
it. You know, and I don't want to advise everyone to drop out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I want to advise those who believe in themselves,
Yeah.
who can actually sort of see. If I tell everyone to drop out, of course, like it's not in my words, but I don't want a chamak to actually have a feeling of them dropping out, because
Mm-hmm.
the minute you drop out, you're done with your life, brother. You know, you gotta have something as
Yeah.
a backup before you drop out. So a backup would always be the best option.
Yeah. But I feel like there's some people just tend to go to extremes and they just drop out and like I'll just figure it out. It's kind of like what I did. I just dropped out and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know I'm gonna figure something out.
Man, that would be a very hard option for you, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
It's a big risk.
it's a big risk. But at
Yeah.
the same time, if you actually have a proper plan,
Yeah.
if you actually show it to your dad and mom, and if you actually tell them that the 1 year of tuition that you're gonna spend on my school, I want this to be invested in me.
Yeah.
And if I don't do good, the next year I'll just start school again.
Yeah.
I think they will be very fine with it, you know.
Yeah. I mean, what I did, because I dropped out as well when I was like 16, right? I just said, look, I'll do a 1 year gap, try to figure some stuff out.
Exactly.
If nothing is becoming like somewhat clear by this point, then I'll go back.
Exactly.
Obviously, I never intended to go back because I was like, you know, I'm not trying to like be in the matrix,
100%.
but I was like, at least in this 1 year, I can show my mom something.
Yeah. If you show them something,
Yeah.
of course they're gonna believe in you. And the biggest thing to show to them is, of course, money.
Yeah.
If you're actually a guy who can take care of himself, the family, and bring in the money, then of course you're a guy who can actually achieve it, you know. And
Yeah.
in at this point, 2023, money is the only thing that's literally important, you know. Why do you study? For the money. Why do you become an engineer? For the money. Do you like building
Mhm.
buildings? No, I don't like building buildings.
Yeah.
I once asked a guy who wanted to be a doctor. I told him, I was like, why do you want to be a doctor? He's like, the salaries for the surgeons are really high. I was like, if you had a proper mindset, you could literally own the hospital, you know.
Yeah.
What makes you in a limit is your brain. Your brain puts you in a limit.
Yeah.
You know, you're limitless. If you actually tell your brain that nothing is impossible for me, you can literally build that hospital and have it under your own name. If you're actually into being an engineer in construction, you can literally have a whole construction company. What limits you is literally your own mind, you know, and this is why most of the people are stuck in the 9 to 5. They don't really believe in themselves, you know.
Why do these delinquents never get a loyal girl? These delinquent teenagers.
Man, these teenagers in 2023, they can't get a loyal girl because they don't want a loyal girl. At some point, they just want to play around. They get tired of one, they go to another one, and it's almost the same to them as a girl's point of view, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Even the girl is not gonna be with them if they're not a loyal man, you know. A loyal man will always end up getting a loyal girl But an unloyal man will always be with a girl who's unloyal to him, you know? So it's almost like, how do I say it? You know, the Newton's law where the opposite attracts. You know what I'm talking about?
No, bro.
Sorry. But it's almost the opposite
Opposites attract. Yeah, attract.
opposite attract. Exactly. It's like
Yeah.
if you're a good
I
guy,
don't think it's Newton's law.
it's some shit like that, but that if you're someone who's a good guy, you will get good in your life, you know?
Yeah.
Even a broad perspective, if you're a person who's actually putting effort, you will get something that you deserve, you know? Biggest example, literally going to the gym every day. Within 1 year, of course, you'll have end up having a good body, you know?
Yeah.
So it's almost like what you put in, you get, you know?
Yeah. Why do so many teenagers say, "Oh, I'm depressed, I have anxiety, blah blah blah"?
A lot of them has it because they don't really, how do I say it? It depends on every teenager, you know? If a teenager has sort of a side hustle and makes money and enjoys making money, I bet they will never say that. Never, ever. Why? Because what they're doing with their life is literally depressing. Like,
Yeah.
imagine your life literally going out with CHAMMAKS, partying, drinking, and that's your whole life, you know? And you literally wait for a weekend to have this day in the whole week, literally a weekend, to literally fulfill this that wish that you had to go out and party and stuff like that. So it's very sad. And honestly, like the only time you would be really feeling happy is when you actually fulfill something, you know? That fulfillment could be you achieving something as less as a homework, or as less as you having that one task of you doing a project and getting done with it, you know? So none of these things that they're doing will actually make them happy. These teenagers who's actually clubbing and doing all of these stupid stuff, they will never be happy because that's literally all they have got, you know? They don't have a, how do I say it, a scope in their life to actually help them look away and understand how life really works, you know? They're stuck in the matrix.
Yeah. Do you think there's two sides to the matrix? You know, like there's one side where it's like all like the degeneracy and everything, and there's the other side where it's like being too uptight and that you like never step out of your comfort zone, like you're too scared to take any risks.
Yes, but I feel like when it comes to 2023, and like the teenagers at this time and the people right now, the side of the people being lazy and not taking action is way more than the people who are actually taking action and actually doing something with their life, you know? A lot of people complain that they can't do any business in Dubai, they cannot start up any sort of side hustle in Dubai, but they don't even realize it that you're literally so lucky to be in Dubai. The opportunities you have here in Dubai, it's so crazy, you know?
Yeah.
For you to think about it, literally all of the people, all of the teenagers here in Dubai, like most of them are stuck in the matrix, stuck in the life of the 9 to 5, and stuck in the partying, you know, vaping and all of those things. For you to actually think about it in a broad way, you're actually so lucky because you have a higher chance of succeeding than other teenagers. And that puts you in a whole different place already. If you think about Dubai and USA, like UAE and USA, USA teenagers are so much more hardworking. Like every teenager has a dropshipping store now in USA, you know? It's so oversaturated. The businesses are really hard to start in the US and stuff like that. So if you're in Dubai and if you're a teenager, you literally have such a high chance of succeeding literally in so many businesses.
Yeah, because a lot of teenagers here, they're born with like almost everything, right?
Wow, that's
So like
100%.
they're you know, they're not really inclined to go and work or like anything like that. But if you're a
Exactly.
teenager here and you do all that stuff, you work hard, you'll go very far because like there's not that many doing it here.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
know, you don't have a family to carry on your shoulders, you know? For example, you live in a country where your dad and mom provides you everything from food to shelter to everything, you know? So even if you go to the lowest point where you had that $1,000 and you lose it all, you're still gonna have the best house, the best family, the best food. So you don't have anything to lose. That's why you gotta risk it. If you're not risking in Dubai, there's no better place to risk it than Dubai, especially if you're with your family, you know?
Why do teenagers get depressed over social media?
Because they actually compare themselves with other teenagers. If one teenager sees the other teenager actually going to a better clubbing, a better party, they get depressed. Why am I not invited, you know?
Yeah.
Most of their life is all about like fighting.
Oh, this guy has the 100 dirham vape and he has the
Yeah,
30 dirham vape.
yeah, why did you talk bad about me? Why did you do this? And
Yeah.
it's all, you know, what goes around comes around, you know? They don't want good for their best friends. You know, these teenagers, these chammaks, they don't want the best for their friends. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
how would they expect their best friend to hope the best for them? So it's always, you know, like, man, they will always be depressed because they always like compare themselves to others on social media. You know, they will
Yeah.
never be happy through that. And
Wow.
comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah. You ever been friends with any chammaks?
A lot, yeah, especially in Dubai, a lot.
Did you have to cut them all off like before you
Oh
came became
yeah,
successful?
100%. You have to cut your circle
Mm-hmm.
so close that you literally have your friends in the count of your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be that small because you cannot trust everyone. Once, like, it's very risky for you to have a friend that is not in the same path as you.
Mm-hmm.
You can literally have 3, 4 friends who are actually with you, working hard and stuff like that. But that one friend who's in the wrong path literally invites you to that one place, one party, one, you know, uh, sort of one party, and literally you go there and your whole mindset is changed. You're literally, you become a different person, you know, because you
Yeah.
meet other people there. The other people meets you, and it gets more and more, you know. So for you to actually cut off your circle is the best option for you, because once you have your circle to the people who are actually working hard and have the same mindset as you, you're going to be safe from all of the other things that happens with other teenagers, you know.
Yeah. So were you always as disciplined as you are, or did you used to follow the same path as like these other teenagers?
Honestly, not as disciplined as soon as I started seeing the money coming through, you know.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I saw the money, I was like, what am I doing with my life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I started thinking about people who are actually way more successful than me. And I thought about it. I was like, if they can achieve it, why can't I achieve it, you know? Similar to that, when I saw my dropshipping store, like, I literally saw other teenagers making money online. And I just had a second thought about it. I was like, if he can do it, why can't I, you know?
Yeah.
What is the difference between me and him? If I can put the same hours as him, if I can literally work hard as him, I know I can achieve it. And that's how I did it, you know. I literally saw the other people do it, believed in myself, followed the path of success, and actually achieved it by myself, alhamdulillah.
Yeah. So why do chammaks love Dubai Mall and MOE?
Man, is their second house. You know, they always go there to meet others, and you know,
Yeah.
it's like their biggest, how they say, their most enjoying time of their weekend is going to Dubai Mall and MOE and seeing other chamaks. And yeah, it's so sad, man. Wallah, it's so
Bro,
sad.
the mall is like one of the most depressing places you can ever be.
It depends on which mall, but I still enjoy Dubai Mall, but no other mall. I wouldn't go to any other mall except Dubai Mall. Like, I go to the outside coffee area, literally
Mm.
work on my e-commerce brand, you know, make money and stuff like that. But when you go to MOE, which I did like a month ago,
Mm.
it was so depressing, bro. There's like 500 chamaks running here and there, and it's so sad, wallahi. And there's like a gathering in MOE that these chamaks did, bro. It
Yeah.
was crazy. There was like 1,000, 2,000 chamaks like walking here and there, literally each one of them having vape in their hand. And they're all like 12, 13, 14,
Yeah.
15, bro. Like, when I was that age, I didn't really have I don't think so. I had a cell phone. Yeah, I didn't really have a cell phone at that age, bro. It's
Mm.
crazy how so much has happened in the past like few years. Wallahi,
Yeah. I think
they've
it's the
changed.
parents' fault as well, to be honest. A lot of
Yes,
it is the parents' fault.
yeah, but at the same time, when you're a parent and when you look at other children and you see their children having something, you know, you feel like your child should have the same thing, you know. So it's almost like your child would cry about it for you, would tell you to buy me this, buy me that, the cell phone, whatever they're asking for, because they saw the other children having it, you know. So now you're in a situation where you can't really disagree, but to the fact that you have to give it to them, and if you don't give it, they will feel really bad about it, you know. So it is the parents' fault, but it's so hard to control it these days, you know. Especially people don't realize this, you know. But most of the fitna, most of the things that are really bad for you starts from school.
Yeah.
From vaping to doing all of these things, it all starts from school and the school friends. You know, if one person in school does it, literally everyone start doing it. But they don't realize it, man.
Yeah.
School is where it all starts. Everything.
Do you think this feminism movement is what's caused so many chammaks to come into existence? Because you know, if you have, for example, you know this movement like, okay, women can work too. Like, you know, we want to be like successful and everything like the men, right? Like, we want to be business owners, everything. But if you have both the parents out the house, then the child is susceptible to everything that they just learned from school, their friends. So do you think there's a correlation between that and like the amount of chammaks that are in Dubai?
Yeah, I feel like if the chammaks go without a limit, if they go out of control,
Mm-hmm.
and if there's no one looking above them, what they're going through, what's happening to them, how their friendship circle is, which is of course a parent's responsibility. You
Mm-hmm.
have to meet their friends once in a week, once in a month, see what they're doing, what kind of people they are, have a chat with them. But it's very hard because none of these parents actually do that. None of these parents actually take care of their children and see what kind of people they're roaming around with or being around with. And that's where most of these kids are getting misled.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have someone looking above you, if you have one of your parents, like your mom or your dad, being there for you whenever you need something, actually taking care of you and being responsible for the actions that you're taking, I feel like the child becomes way more responsible. For example, if you can compare a child who's very obedient, who's very respectful to his parents versus a child who's disrespectful to his parents, who smokes, who vapes and stuff like that, the main difference is how they got raised up and what kind of circle of friends they had. If your circle of friends are really bad, even if you're the most obedient child, but if your circles is bad, if your friends are really doing the things that you don't want to do, you will still end up doing it. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because your friends did it, and now you feel left out if you don't indulge in it.
Yeah.
So it's all about the circle of the friendship that they have and the parents' responsibility to make sure that the circle of the friends that they have is good for the children's future.
Mm. So should both parents be out of the house, or should one parent stay at home and like take care of the children?
Honestly, it depends on how old the child is, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You can be 18 and your mom taking care of you.
Yeah.
But of course, if you're a little kid and stuff
Like in the
that,
developing years.
yeah, in developing years, I feel like the child wouldn't be at home all the time either.
Mm-hmm.
The child would be literally out. So 12, 13-year-olds are literally walking around the mall, going here and there. There's no one to tell them what you're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
So even if the parent is home, the child is not home. So there's no, how do I say it? There's no correlation to that. It's almost like the friends that actually controls them out of the house. So that's what matters the most.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the circle of the friends that they have literally controls them more than their parents at this point.
Yeah.
Because you're close friends your close
But
friend.
don't you think that that's because the parents were not there during the early years?
No, I feel like in any stage of life, your friend circle could change.
Mhm.
You could fight with one circle and you could have another circle of friends and stuff like that, and you're literally a whole different person. Because if your friends are literally doing something, you feel like doing it too. If they're red color, you become a red color person too. You
Mhm.
become similar to them. So I feel like it's all about the circle of friends, and if it's a parent, he or she must be taking the responsibility of what kind of friends their child has. The
Mhm.
circle that the children actually roams around with.
Yeah. But then how would the parent know like their friends and everything if they're never like with the child or like seeing like how they're growing up and everything?
Again, a small invite to their friends to the
Mhm.
house could be a big, big, big solve to the issue. You know,
Mhm.
you see how they dress up, you see how they talk, you see how they speak to each other or they're respectful and stuff like that. You literally know everything completely from A to Z.
Yeah.
So it's all about a small invite to the house, and you literally know the future of your child.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like that the children who are lonely
Mhm.
is way more better than the children who are just out and enjoying and doing this
Yeah.
and that, doing that, because they're in control. They're always at home. They're always looked after by their parents.
Mhm.
So I feel like they're gonna be somewhat better and encouraged in sort of achieving their dreams than the ones who are
Mhm.
just into partying, into going out and all of that stuff.
So if say for example, okay,
Mm-hmm.
like hypothetical, you're a chamak, yeah. Your whole life is like you go to school, come back, vape a bit, go to sleep, play some video games, yeah. And then the weekend you like, you go out to Kite Beach and like I don't know, get drunk on the beach, like party. And that's your whole life. But now you want to become like an entrepreneur, right? You want to do something with your life, and you know that you have to cut off all these your friends and only keep good friends. But what if all your friends are just like trash friends and you have to cut them all off and now you're just by yourself? How do you like find better friends?
So going back to the question that you asked, how are chamas so depressed? The life that you described of them literally waking up, going to school, vaping, coming back home, doing nothing, no homework, just going out, vaping more, partying, and coming back home. That's a depressing life to have, you know? If you
Mm-hmm.
don't have a goal in life, if you don't have something that's gonna sort of tells you where your future is heading, it's gonna be very depressing for you to actually live a life that you're just, how do I say it, you're in the air floating around, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to the second part of the question, yeah, if your friends are not good, neither in the old circle or in the new circle, or if you can't find any good friends, literally start by yourself. When I first started out my journey, my e-commerce journey and entrepreneur journey, I was all alone, all by myself. When I started YouTube, I was all by myself. So being lonely is such a blessing, I promise. Being lonely is one of the biggest blessings that you will have. Because the minute you have so many circles and so many people calling and hitting you up, if you had that focus on the work, now you feel like you have to go out, you have to be in that
Mm-hmm.
friend group, you have to be, you know, out there with them partying or like, you know, just casually hanging out. But if you're lonely, you're literally gonna stay at home, literally work on your dream, your on your goal, and you're just gonna be so focused. So being lonely is such a blessing. You know, the more friends that is not benefiting you, the more friends you cut off that's not good for you, the better for you.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
Are you a feminist?
No, hell no.
So you don't support feminism?
No, it's, how do I say, it's almost stupid to support that, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So when it comes to feminism, you know, I'm gonna talk about it in a broad way in the aspect of religion of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
The men has their own roles, and the woman has their own roles. So you can't really have the same roles to a female and the male, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There's so much difference between a female and a male that it doesn't make sense to go with the route of feminism and the route of, you know, all equality, you know?
Mm-hmm. So, but are men and women equal in value?
Yeah, that's true, you know? Men and you know, when it comes to respect, when it comes to their values, of course you have to value them, you know? But of
Mm-hmm.
course, sometimes when it comes to this in a broad perspective, the things that men do, building buildings, taking taking care of the most hardworking stuff, going into wars and doing all of these things. Of course, their value is worth way more, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2023, I feel like men are losing their values.
Mm-hmm.
How do I say it? They're becoming lazy. They're literally working, especially the ones who work from home.
Yeah.
There's no difference between them and the females, you know. Just literally working from home. Man, go to the office, go somewhere, just work somewhere else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But not in a bad way, of course. If they have their own business, that's good. But if they're in a 9 to 5 and they're just working for the company, you know, from 9 to 5 and like doing their work, bro.
They're like a housewife to the company.
Exactly, exactly, bro. That's so true.
Yeah. Have you ever met a feminist in real life?
Yeah, I feel like I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your experience like?
Very bad.
What was it?
It was very short, but it was like a debate,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't with me. It was with someone else, and the whole debate was so pointless. The guy won, the feminist lost.
What was it about?
It was about equal pay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the guy was having good points. He said that how do feminists want equal pay
Mm-hmm.
when their basketball game has a live stream of 15,000, but the male version has like 2 million, 3
Mm-hmm.
million, you know? How do you want equal pay?
Yeah.
But again, they want equal pay because they're a female and they're putting in the same work. But, you know, giving them the same salary as a guy is you know, giving the female the same salary as a guy in like a football or this or that, so pointless because the guys get way more pay-per-views, way more, you know, drama, way more, like everything else is so much more than
Yeah.
just females, you know. The attention is more on the guy's side, you know.
Yeah.
So you
If the
can't just
women want to get paid more, like for their sports and stuff, then tell the other women to watch your sports.
exactly, bro. Literally, yeah, that's so true, man.
Yeah.
When it comes to sports, even the females watch the male sports.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the female sport, the male doesn't watch it, bro. It's so rare.
Yeah.
You know, it's so rare seeing a guy watching a woman's World Cup game.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched one
Uh, World Cup game?
for females?
Oh no. You know, it's a funny story.
Did you think it exists?
No.
It does. Unfortunately.
You know, one time, and bro, even girls will admit this, right? Like in private, they'll admit it. I was with this girl one time, right? It was a restaurant, and there was like a TV, okay, and the TV it was playing like women's volleyball or something,
Yeah.
right? So she sees me laughing, right? She's like, "Why are you laughing?" And I'm like, "Look at the TV," and they're like playing volleyball and stuff, and it just I don't know, it just doesn't even look that fun,
Yeah.
right? And then she's like, why are you laughing? It's like, you know, they like work hard, like the men as well, and like all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, look, just watch it for like 5 minutes. Tell me if you would actually sit there and watch this, right? She's watching it, and then she like 5 minutes later, she's like, yeah, you're right, the shit's dead. Like I wouldn't even watch this.
Yeah, but fair enough, Of course, like I'm not here to hate on the
Yeah.
females that
But I
actually.
mean, the women are not even supporting the women's sport, but they're blaming it
Yeah.
on the men.
Exactly. I'm not here to.
Yeah.
We're not here to hate on females or stuff like that. That actually, goes out there, works hard, gets that. How do I say it? That spot in the women's national team and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Good to them. But for some of them to actually shout at the federation for equal pay and stuff like that, bro, it's pointless, man. Come on. Like
Yeah.
the advertisement doesn't even pay the federation that much that they should pay you.
Yeah.
So they're losing the money at that point.
So would you rather have a virgin housewife who's ugly,
Yeah.
or a feminist like who's good looking but she has like a 50 body count?
A virgin wife with ugly face, because I know you will end up in big issues with the feminist wife, bro.
Mm-hmm. What
With
sort of issues?
50 body count, bro. That's crazy. No, virgin, 100% virgin. Bro, like if she's a feminist and if she has 50 body counts, bro, she could leave you at any point. And you could literally be in a fight with her like 24/7. Like 24/7, you're literally arguing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if she's uglier than you, then at least you have a point on her. How do I say it?
Are feminists delusional?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, they really have expectations of so many things that's not even in the logic. It doesn't even make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like the equal pay.
Yeah.
How do you want equal pay when the advertisement company pays 20 million for the males game and
Mhm.
2 million for the females game? How do you want equal pay when the payment from the advertising companies where the team makes the money from is not even the same?
Mm-hmm.
So
What percent of feminists do you think call themselves a 10 out of 10?
99%, bro. To be honest, at this point, 99%.
Is it true though?
Nah, bro, it's not. It's just the fact that they have like high ego, they're
Mm.
egotistical, and I don't know. They believe in something that doesn't even make logic.
Yeah.
So for them to not even be a 10 out of 10, they would still call themselves 10 out of 10. Why? Because again, they believe in something that doesn't make logic. So.
Is feminism causing depopulation?
Yes, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to feminism, they believe in I don't know, in a higher power than the males.
Mm-hmm.
And as Andrew Tate said, bro, like with feminism, man, everything goes wrong. From you not having children to you divorcing to you having to pay for the house, mortgage. So many things literally go wrong when you have a feminine wife. You can't just be equal with your wife in the house. The man should have a higher value than the female in the house.
You think feminists are gonna die alone with like 5 cats and 100 body count?
Pretty much, bro. Holy, wow. They're probably like 50 and single, 50, 60 and single,
Mm-hmm.
because they believe in feminism.
Do women have more rights than men?
No. I
In what
think,
way? Because a lot of women are like, oh, like we don't have equal rights. Like we don't have this, we don't have that. Like, you know, men
I
are.
mean, equal rights to the fact, of course, the respect to the fact that, you know, they get how do I say equal rights in what way?
Like a lot of like women, they complain like we don't have equal rights. Like, you know, in like I don't even know. Like it doesn't even make sense to me. Like, but they just say it.
They do have equal
Yeah.
rights. They do. Like
Yeah.
everywhere they go, they have equal rights. There's
Yeah.
a male bathroom, there's a female bathroom. If a guy is getting respected, the female is getting respected. It
Mhm.
depends on the country, but literally in most of the countries, females has what a guy has, the right.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that females in some countries have even more rights than the men?
Yeah, in the Western countries,
Yeah.
it do be like that. You know,
Yeah.
the females are ruling the males.
Is is feminism a satanic movement created by the devil in order to devalue women?
100%, bro. You know,
Mm.
it's something that, you know, of course, the satanic doesn't want the male population to
Yeah.
increase. They want females. Why? Because females are easy to control. So
Mm-hmm.
they want the control over females, over the fact that they can, you know, change themselves, their gender and this and that, you know, just to have
Mm-hmm.
more power over them, you know. So they don't want more male, you know. They want males to be as less, but they want females to be more, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a sign of the day of judgment in Islam, bro, that there's gonna be, I'm not sure, one, but there's gonna be one male, but I'm not sure if it's three or seven females.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's three. So there's gonna be one male and three females.
Mm-hmm.
So subhanallah, bro, it's scary, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people will actually get into the adultery, into the sins, into all of these things, you know, because the females are way too much for you, you know, for a single man to have like. Of course, they're not gonna marry two, three wives, not all of them, but for them it would be too easy for them to actually, you know, just change their mind, go with another female, if you know what I mean.
You have any last words?
All right, so going back into the topic, chamaks and how they can actually, you know, change their life and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a chamak, if you actually think about changing your life and being different than all of these other people who are in your circle, the 1,000, 2,000 people who literally roams around with you, looks the same like you,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. If you want to be different, there's a few things that you have to follow. Number one is you have to cut off every single chamak that you know.
Mm-hmm.
Cut them off completely. Why? Because they're gonna the next day they're gonna invite you to some party and stuff like that. You're gonna be a chamak again. You're gonna indulge in that again. The second that is you should have a life plan. What's your goal in life? I want to be a millionaire. I want to have my own business. Whatever goal that you have in life, literally set it down. The third thing is to literally be disciplined and give up on all the things that you used to do, from vaping to going out to parties to drinking, all of these things. Literally give up on it. I promise once you do all of these three things and actually start praying 5 times a day, your whole life changes. You know, you become a man of God. God will love you more. You know,
Mm-hmm.
He will give you more than what you expect. You know, more than what you asked for. If you're a person who actually goes back to God and repents and stuff like that, God will give you, you know, wonders in this life, you know.
Yeah.
So change your life before it's too late. You know, you can't just have fun forever, you know. You can't just ruin your life forever and, you know, go out to parties and do this and smoke and, you know, all of these things are literally a bad sign for your future, you know, because if you don't decide your future decides you. If you're someone who keeps vaping, who keeps going out and doing this and doing that, literally your future is gonna be something similar to it. You know, you're gonna be stuck in the 9 to 5. You're gonna have a bad life. You're gonna be, you know, suffering in the future. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
Because you didn't take care of your teenage lives. You know, so when it comes to a lot of the teenager and how they become successful, is all due to the fact of how they actually had their teenage lives.
Mm-hmm.
Your teenage life is so important than just partying and going out and clubbing, because this teenage life actually builds the fundamentals of your future, which is you becoming more successful, having a goal in life, having the dream house, the dream wife, everything completely, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take care of your teenage lives. You have to work hard, because if you don't do it now, you're gonna be stuck within a limit. And what's gonna be that limit? That limit is gonna be you having to start a job, because now you have to take care of your family. Your father's old, your mother's old. You have to take care of you have to take care of them. And once you get in the 9 to 5, it's very hard to get out. You know, it's really hard. So the best thing you could literally do as a 15, 13, 19, 20-year old is to actually start something right now, later, rather than later,
Mm-hmm.
because later on you will have so many more responsibilities
Mm-hmm.
that you won't even have the time for that side hustle, that you
Yeah.
won't even have the time for that business that you wanted to start, you know. And alhamdulillah, the people that we have in the course, they're literally 14, 15 and 20-year olds making good money on the daily basis. And I'm so proud of them because they're unlike other these chamaks,
Mm-hmm.
and they have actually got to have a goal in life and actually sort of set, they're actually people who has a goal in life, unlike these other chamaks who doesn't have a goal, who's just into like who's just floating in the air, whatever comes, they don't care about their actions deciding their future.
Yeah.
So it's so much more better if you actually take care of your future, of your teenage life, to actually have a good future.
Yeah. Most people are just like feathers in the wind.
Feathers in the wind, 100%, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be easy to make that change?
When you're a chamak.
Yeah.
So if you want to bring a change when you're a chamak, it's going to be hard because what you're used to is going to be really hard to give up.
Yeah.
But I promise, if you actually give up on the things that you're used to right now, you're going to have so many more better things. And the best way to give up on those things is actually by fasting and by praying. So if you do these two things mixed up, promise you will have so much more happiness, a better life. Your parents are going to be happy, your teachers are going to be happy, and that's all. That's all what you want. That's all that you need, right? Like, what
Yeah.
else do you need? All you need is literally be under religion, make your parents proud, make money, and just live a happy life.
Yeah. That one point you said about fasting, it's actually so true, because that's actually what helped me. Like before, when I used to do all these types of things, right? I was like these other like kids who like go to parties and they're all right. But the one thing that helped me like quit like smoking, drinking, all these things, right? All these bad things, was actually fasting. Like I fasted for like a month or something. I was just doing like
MashaAllah.
intermittent fasting, and nothing like too crazy, right?
Yeah.
But it teaches you the self control. Like if you can control your own hunger, you can control anything. Like
Discipline.
after I learned that, then it was easy to quit the smoking. It was easy to quit the drinking. It was easy to quit all the other stuff.
So beautiful, man, because your whole day you're in control.
Yeah.
And even when you break your fast, you still don't feel like doing it because you're like, oh, I did all of this and now I have to do like the bad sin. I don't want to do it, I just want to give up on it because I
Yeah.
fasted the whole day and now I just want to repeat what I was trying to prevent.
Yeah.
So the best option for you to actually give up on the things that you don't want to do in your life anymore is by actually fasting. So fasting actually helps you so much in giving up your sins from vaping to drinking to roaming around with people who are not even gonna help you in your life and stuff like that. And yeah, a lot of these teenagers in the future will be broke. A lot of them will be stuck in the 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them will have a mentality that a job is the only way to feed their family,
Yeah.
and it's all up to them if they want to bring a change or if they want to stay in the same rat race that everyone else is currently.
Most of them are gonna have been like born with everything, but die with nothing.
Die with nothing. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
In Dubai, most of the teenagers, they do have literally everything, from a good
Yeah.
family to a good house to a good mother and father. Everything is good for them.
Mm-hmm.
But what's missing is their action, is them taking action towards something that's gonna better them in the future.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. But when you actually think about it in a larger space, you know how you wanna be a YouTuber, but you're like, oh, I wanna get a camera, then I'll start YouTube. You get that camera,
Yeah.
you're not even doing YouTube anymore. Then you feel like, oh, if I get monetized, I will post like 2 times a day. You got monetized, but you're not doing anything with it.
Yeah.
So it's really bad. But the more comfortable you get with your life, the lazier you get.
Yeah.
And the more things come in your life, you still get the less goals you will have in the future.
Yeah.
And if you're actually someone who can control that, who can actually control the fact that if he wants more, he has to work more for it, then you're actually going to be successful. Because if you're actually someone saying that I will probably post 2 times a day if I get a YouTube camera, and if you actually do that, you're a person of control, you're a person of discipline.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard to do that. For almost everyone, it's very hard.
Yeah.
That's all differentiates you between others.
Yeah. You think we're gonna get jumped after this video, bro?
Not really jumped, but at least I hope they actually take a lesson out of this.
Mhm.
Jumping wouldn't make a difference. We'd still
Yeah.
talk about them. We'd still have our opinions. The only thing that would make them better is if they actually listen to what, I have gone through, what I have learned, and like you take it as a life lesson. Because
Yeah.
no matter how much more you party, no matter how much more girls you go out with, it's not gonna make a difference in
Mm-hmm.
you unless you actually take the advice that we gave you. Unless you take the advice of you changing your life for the better and becoming a better person. Because none of the shit is worth it, bro. I've been through it. I've seen it. I've seen people destroy their lives,
Yeah.
and it's not gonna get you anywhere. It's gonna be a waste of your precious teenage life.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And
And
yeah, for the people who are in the comments and still saying that, teenagers should enjoy, teenagers should have a life that they want to have,
mm-hmm.
it's very wrong for them to say that, especially if they're older than the teenager, because they're having a bad impact on those who are 13, 15, 16 year olds. As a elder guy, as a person, if you're 19, 20, 21, and you have been through these stages, you have to tell them that they shouldn't go through these stages. They're ruining their life. Just
Mm-hmm.
from vaping, they're ruining their kidney, their lungs, their breathing system, everything. They don't
Yeah.
even know what's inside the vape. It's literally breathe air, bro. And
Yeah.
how they say it, literally quit that shit, bro. Wow, that was a good podcast, bro. So many questions.